There's nothing more frustrating than making a mistake and not getting the desired results. And when it comes to debt, those mistakes can be costly. I learned this the hard way when I started my debt-free journey. Hello everyone, welcome to Success Wisdom Channel. In this video, we will discuss mistakes I learned by starting my debt-free journey that you must avoid. If you are new to this channel, do like and subscribe to the channel. If you're anything like me, you want to get out of debt as quickly as possible. So grab a cup of coffee and let's get started. When I began my debt-free journey, I made a few mistakes that I quickly learned from. Firstly, I did not create a budget. This was a mistake because I had no overview of my financial situation and no plan to get out of debt. Tracking my expenses was also something I neglected to do, making it difficult to see where my money was going each month. As a result, I would often overspend and end up in more debt. These mistakes taught me the importance of creating a budget and tracking my expenses. By doing so, I could clearly understand my financial situation and develop a plan to get out of debt. Second, overspending on groceries. I would impulsively buy items that I didn't need and end up wasting a lot of food. I also wasn't very mindful of the expiration dates on food and would often throw out perfect items because they had gone bad. As a result, I spent more money than necessary on groceries and did not make the most of my budget. If you're on a debt-free journey, you must be mindful of your spending and only purchase items you need. Expiration dates are also essential to keep in mind, as they can help you save money by avoiding food waste. Third, not paying the highest interest debt first. Starting my debt-free journey was one of the best decisions ever. Not only did it help me get out of debt, but it also taught me a lot about money and personal finance. One of my biggest mistakes was not paying off my highest interest debt first. I thought that making minimum payments on my debts would save me money in the long run. However, I quickly realized that this was not the case. The high interest rates on my credit cards cost me a fortune in interest charges and my debt grew. I eventually learned that it's essential to focus on paying off your highest interest debt first to save money and get out of debt as quickly as possible. Then, for not negotiating with the creditors. I assumed they would never agree to lower my interest rates or monthly payments. However, I soon learned that creditors are often willing to negotiate, especially if you can offer a lump sum payment. By openly communicating with your creditors and being willing to compromise, you can significantly reduce the interest you pay on your debt. There are ways how to negotiate with your creditors. The first step is to understand your rights. Federal law prohibits creditors from using abusive, unfair, or deceptive practices when collecting a debt. This means that they can threaten you with violence, falsely accuse you of a crime, or mislead you about the amount you owe. Once you know your rights, you can start negotiating with your creditors. If you can make a lump sum payment, offer a lower monthly payment, or agree to a repayment plan. Be sure to get the terms in writing before making any payments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you like this video. The fifth mistake I learned by starting my debt-free journey that you must avoid is letting my emotions get in the way of making good decisions. I would get upset about my debt and then make impulsive decisions that cost me more money in the long run. For example, I once decided to transfer my balance to a 0% interest credit card. But because I didn't do my research, I didn't realize that the 0% interest rate only applied to new purchases and not balance transfers. As a result, I ended up paying hundreds of dollars in interest fees. If I had considered my decision before making it, I could have saved myself a lot of money. So if you're starting your debt-free journey, avoid making the same mistake. Let your head rule your heart, not the other way around. You'll be on your way to financial freedom with a little planning and discipline. 6. For not knowing my credit score and history. Your credit score is a 3-digit number that represents your creditworthiness. Lenders use your credit score to determine whether you're a good candidate for a loan and what interest rate they'll charge you. A high credit score means you're a low-risk borrower, which could lead to a lower interest rate on your loan. A low credit score could lead to a higher interest rate and you won't qualify for the loan. You have a credit history which records your borrowing and repayment activity. Your payment history is one of the most critical factors in determining your credit score. Lenders want to see that you've made on-time payments in the past. They also want to see how much debt you currently have and how much credit you have available. The mix of types of credit you have, such as installment loans, revolving credit, and mortgage loans, is also considered when lenders make lending decisions. One of the most important things I learned when starting my debt-free journey was the importance of knowing my credit score and history. I had no idea what my credit score was and didn't know anything about my credit history. As a result, I was completely unaware of the potential problems that could arise if I didn't manage my debt correctly. I'm now very vigilant about monitoring my credit score and history, and I keep tabs on any changes. This has helped me to avoid making any further mistakes with my debt, and it has also allowed me to improve my credit rating. Next, for buying things on credit. I thought that using credit would allow me to get what I wanted now and pay for it later. However, this approach quickly led to me accumulating debt that I could not afford to pay off. Not only that, but it also caused me to miss out on opportunities to save money. If you're serious about starting your debt-free journey, you must avoid buying things on credit. Instead, save the money you need to pay for your purchases in cash. This will help you stay out of debt and avoid interest charges. Additionally, it will allow you to control your spending and build up your savings. Lastly, for procrastinating on debt payments. One of the worst things you can do when trying to get out of debt is procrastinating on your payments. Every day, you wait to make a payment. You're accruing more interest, making your debt harder to pay off. Additionally, if you miss a payment or are late on a payment, you may be charged a late fee, which can further add to your debt burden. If you're serious about getting out of debt, making timely payments every month is crucial. While it may seem daunting, you can gradually reduce your debt balance and eventually become debt-free by staying on top of your expenses. I hope you can learn from my mistakes and avoid making the same ones. If you're just starting your debt-free journey, set a budget and stick to it. You'll also want to make a plan and track your progress. Finally, don't give up if you fall off track. Just get back and keep going. Are there any other mistakes that you would add to this list? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I hope you have learned something from this video. If you like this video, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you and goodbye.